I know we said no more diesel heater videos, but Andy is moving the diesel heater that he put in the van.
It's gonna be hot. It's gonna be hot. It's not so bad. That's what I suspected. Floor below the floor. Smoke's escaping.
As we rolled into September, we got a phone call that there was more work to be done out in the campgrounds in Colorado, and would we be willing to come out for a couple more months?
That one stays sealed, I think. Let's see what I have for drill bits. Ran to the lumber yard, grabbed a hole saw bit. It's 1/8 inch larger than I wanted, but I'd rather not have to drive 19 miles each direction to get a little bit smaller hole. But this should make it so I can, I don't know if I can seal around it or not, but the smallest gap around there, the better, not letting stuff in there.
That was hilarious. That was.
Do you think he just does that because he just wants attention?
No, I think, I mean, there might be a little bit of that, but I really think that's Annie. He has this thing. It's probably just, you know, it's part of his wiring. It's probably gotten him somewhere in life in some ways where he just goes
delusional.
Being delusional about I can't lose. Like if somebody says I can beat you, like I can't beat you, you're like, what are you talking about? And then when you were pulling up, I was like, why don't you fucking ask him? Like, 'cause I already knew what was gonna happen. And then he also loves to gamble. I was like, yeah, I'll take that action. So yeah, that's Annie, and yeah,
But he's not even a strong guy. That's why I was so confused. I was looking at him like, you want to arm wrestle? Like,
Yeah.
You're not even a strong guy. Like, you don't, like... There's probably a lot of things you could do better than me. But this...
It doesn't have the drill bit in the middle. I'm going to go back and look at the footage of what I just showed when I held it up to see if it was in there. Yeah, I just looked at the footage. There was no drill bit in there. I'm going to head back to the lumberyard. I'll be back again. I have a pilot bit now. I guess they sell them separately. Now I know. I guess it's $5 more expensive. It's a $20 bit. Not a $15 bit that way, but whatever. I got what I needed. It's only 1.5 miles away, and they close in 6 minutes. I just barely got there in time, but at least I got there in time. I got the drill on reverse. Holy cow. How did I break the bit that easily? That is insane. I'm just going to have to find a 1/4 inch bit that I have. I can't go. I don't have time to get back there. I have some 1/4 inch bits from building the bus still. How are you, buddy? Checking up on my work? Try this again. That was slick. I think I see my other mark. Oh, that's it. Pilot bit fell out, but it did its job. I can't believe that one broke into halfway through the first hole. Put this on there and look down to make sure the holes line up. I had this plate upside down, so when I wanted it here, Now to make the holes line up, it's gonna have to be about right there. It's gonna work, it'll be just fine. Better than having to go the other direction. Everything lines up as long as it's slid back a 3/8 of an inch or so, so it works. I was gonna hook you on before I turn you on before I put this in, but I forgot to. Either way, I bolted the plate together, bolted all the exhaust and stuff onto it, and just kind of, I haven't screwed it down yet. Underneath here you can see where the exhaust comes through the fuel line. The fuel line, I have a secondary fuel line around it so it doesn't get chafed on the metal where it's coming through at, and then the air intake sitting off to the side here. But I'll screw it down and then I'll get this exhaust and stuff hooked up down below. And then I gotta hook up the wiring and figure out how I'm gonna run the fuel. Good morning. I filmed myself installing so many diesel heaters. I did not turn the camera on yesterday. Nothing was that special other than when I cut the hole through the double floor. And then once I got done with that, I'm like, everything after this is the same it's always been. So I just kind of worked on it. Somehow it took me like 7 hours to install this diesel heater. I don't even know where the time went. It feels like I was in a time warp or something. I took a couple of little coffee breaks, but nothing major, so I have no idea. Yesterday just seemed like one of those days that time got away from me, which I can't have happen. I got to get to Colorado in a couple days, but whatever. I got to get to work. That's why I'm out here in the morning. Birds are making noise, and I'll just show you what I did yesterday. So the diesel heater's there. It's got the vent. I made that little board. I don't know what angle it ended up at. It was fun because that side, here, I'll get over here. This side is shorter than this side, but I just put it on the table saw and used the little miter gauge and kind of worked up at it and cut the angle. Board started like 3 inches longer, and then I inched up to it almost perfectly. The fuel tank right there, the diesel heater right there, little twisty turn vent, but for the most part we just want it blowing as much into the vehicle as possible. It's got the little controller board. I just clipped this on the wire, but I ran the wire inside. I took out these screws and the wires just run inside the carpeting there. I figure why have it hanging out if it's not that hard to hide. Maybe that's why it took so long. I did everything too well instead of just banging this thing together. And I don't know if I showed you, did I show putting the headboard on, or did I just put the headboard on too?
I think Andy might have forgotten to film this part that he's talking about because I never came across any footage of him building a headboard.
There's the headboard with it up. I got a bucket in the way. Battery holder was simple. I just got a board where I glued and screwed a couple boards onto the end to here, and then I'll show you how this goes. This job's done. Now what? Still got mechanical repairs I should do. I don't know why I keep putting them off, because they're the least fun, I guess. What else did I say I had to do? Clean. That hose is new, and 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 that hose is my problem. I never replaced that hose when I replaced the rest of them, because I think the water pump has to come off to do it, which means the alternator's got to come off, and this tensioner and the AC compressor's got to come off, and I think the power steering pump may be able to stay on. I think the air compressor has to come out though, and that's a lot of work just to move this forward so I can put this stinking hose in there. I think I went through 25 gallons of water to get back from Colorado with that leak. Stopped every 45 to 50 miles. The radiator cap was doing its job at that point. The overflow would be the overflow was a gallon jug. The van didn't have an overflow, it just had a downdraft tube or whatever you want to call it. Just dumped the extra to the ground when I bought it. I just shoved the jug in there. I would fill that up and then have about a quarter gallon left in it after about 50 miles. And the radiator would be completely full. If I tried to drive, 75, 80 miles, the jug would be empty and the radiator would be like a couple quarts down, almost half a gallon down even by that point. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to run the engine low. So if I stopped every 45, 50 miles, the engine never ran low on coolant. It was just cycling it out of the jug. I made it home. I didn't have to fix this on the road. Now it's been sitting here for a couple of weeks. I haven't driven it. I've been driving the van that has air conditioning, and I gotta fix it now. Let's hope this is easy. Let's hope it's a half-hour job, but this could be an 8-hour job. Got good news and bad news. I'll bring you out there. The good news is those two nipples are far enough apart. I'm gonna be able to put a hose in there. The bad news is the hose I got is the wrong size. It's just one size too big. So I'm gonna have to run to O'Reilly's and get the proper hose. Either way, it'll be a piece of cake to put in. It's not gonna be an 8-hour job. It's gonna be the half-hour. It's gonna be an hour job because I gotta run to O'Reilly's. And I really shouldn't be letting the coolant running on the ground, but like I said, I flushed this out with like 25 gallons of water. As you can see, that's not green coming out of there. That's quite clear, so. But I don't want the cats to drink it even if it is quite clear, so I'll run another 25, 50 gallons of water over the little bit I spilt on the ground here.
Dilution is the solution of pollution.
But there is really no coolant left in there. It's just water.
20 minutes later.
Look at that. The new hose went on without having to pull the water pump. Today's turned out to be a good day. I have to change the oil, look it over. I got to put half a front. I did the right front brakes in Colorado because they started making noise. I got to do the left front brakes now. Yeah, when you're in a parking lot of an O'Reilly's, you just do what you need to do. Don't do anything extra. Yeah, I got a few things to fix on it, but the coolant leak was the one I was the most worried about. And I should have fixed that in Colorado, but taking that, cutting the hose and getting all the way off to find out that I can't get a new one fit into there would be, I wasn't ready to pull that whole front of the engine apart in an O'Reilly's parking lot.
This should go inside though. We can buy some still.
Still have to finish my oil change. I went inside and took a nap last night and came out and did some other stuff.
I'm assuming you don't want these Cheerios.
No, I never wanted those Cheerios, but yeah. Our boy ate a few
I
boxes
keep finding
of them.
quarters though. That'll be nice for
Laundromat?
laundry.
Yeah.
Do I want to know what this is?
It's kind of waxy feeling.
But it doesn't look like cheese.
No.
It's over.
It's oily though. I don't know what it was.
But they don't like publicly tell people that. Ooh,
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Do you need this big bolt?
Yeah, it's one of the bolts that held the bench in. It's also held the original seats in the van.
Okay, awesome. This garbage? Is this what you cut out of the floor?
Yeah, it's what I cut out of the... Yeah, it's garbage.
I mean, did you want it?
I could if I wanted to weld in a box down below. Use it, but I don't... Sorry, I stood back where the ants are. Now every piece of grass that touches me freaks me out.
Maybe you should just stand up on the
Yeah.
bar. That way you won't think about it. You know you got pants up here?
I got what?
Pants.
Yeah, I forgot to send them to the laundromat with you. I
They
remembered.
look pretty clean though.
They might be.
I'm not sure they were worn.
They're probably clean enough to use for work pants.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't have any work pants. I just realized that. I only have jeans. And I won't be buying any work pants because women's work pants are shit. And yeah, I've bought Carhartts. I've bought Dovetails. Yeah, I cheapy me, spent the money on Dovetail work pants last spring. And I absolutely hate them. They're the worst pants I've ever worn. They're super uncomfortable. It feels like you're wearing a diaper because of the way they've done the crotch seam. Like, they're uncomfortable. They are not worth $90 at all. Maybe the amount of material, the heavy duty material is, but they're not worth it.
I have to put on my tools and buckets and stuff. I'm like, man, this isn't gonna work. I got a toolbox back in here. But I gotta show you where the lines are of this one versus the last one. You can see the line there where the other one took up on the floor. This I had to raise it up to get it above the fuel filler little angle, but it takes up way less space. And I guess if I lower the bed here, you'll see that wouldn't have even been possible with the old toolbox. So I really didn't have a choice but to take out the old toolbox, and I really needed I didn't really have a choice but to have a toolbox to keep all my tools in either. It's almost too tight. Knocking stuff all over here. Oh well, I gotta get the tools in the toolbox. I'm back with a new battery. I don't know what I got said or didn't say, but either way, the toolbox is in. The lid doesn't open up all the way, but it opens up enough to get stuff out of it and to lock and unlock the drawers. It's screwed to the base. The base is screwed to the floor, and it's screwed to the shelf over there. So I think it'll stay put. And I'll show you what else I did. We want a way to keep the cats either in the front when we're loading up at Home Depot or something, or in the back when we're doing things coming in and out of the front. So even though I removed the bottom of the door to go to Colorado, I ended up putting a board back in place, just held in by 2 screws. If we have longer boards that we need to haul in, I'll just take out the 2 screws and put them in there. But it's screwed in on that side. Then I got a couple hooks and then bungees to hold it on the side with hooks. Then another hook there. So, and then when we just unhook it, pull the 3 bungees and just let it dangle there, and it should allow us to keep the cats in either the front or the back, and still let some air through or whatever. And it's not a big door that's in our way, because I had no way to put it. I didn't know where to put a door. Can't be on the other side because of the bed, and really isn't any spot on this side either. I thought about doing like fabric Velcro, but this net was a fraction of the price, or not a fraction, but I bought a net for covering the bed of a pickup truck. I got a whole bunch of netting left, and I paid less than I would have paid for the Velcro to go around the door. Everything else I was thinking of was with Velcro, so the net's going to work well, I think. But time to start loading.